To understand collision theory, we need to understand what a reaction is. In a chemical reaction, reacting particles must collide together with enough energy to react. The particles can be atoms, ions, or molecules. The products that are formed are made from the particles in the reactants. The speed at which this happens is dependent on a range of factors. The particles of the reactants must collide with each other to break the bonds. This is only successful if the collision happens with enough energy. This minimum amount of energy is called activation energy. Only particles that have the minimum amount of energy when they collide will result in a successful collision. There are two ways to increase the rate of reaction. By increasing the energy of the collisions. This can happen by heating the particles or reducing the activation energy. Or by increasing the frequency of the collisions. This can happen by exposing more particles to the other reactant so more collisions can happen in a given time. The four factors that will affect the rate of a chemical reaction are the temperature of the reactants, the concentration of a reacting solution, the surface area of a reacting solid, the presence of a catalyst. When the temperature of the reactants is increased, the rate of reaction is increased. This is because the particles all have more kinetic energy, which results in them moving faster. When they move faster, they collide more. Because they have more energy, more of them have the minimum activation energy, so more of the collisions are successful. When the concentration of a liquid reactant is increased, the rate of reaction is increased. A dilute solution will have less particles per unit volume than a concentrated solution. This will result in more particles being available to collide with the other reactant. More successful collisions can happen in a given time, so the rate of reaction will be faster. When the surface area of a solid reactant is increased, the rate of reaction will increase. Surface area is increased by breaking the solid into smaller pieces. This exposes the solid particles to the other reactant, resulting in more successful collisions in a given time. The rate of reaction will be faster. Sugar is a good example of surface area. Sugar granules have a much larger surface area than the same mass of sugar cubes. The presence of a catalyst will increase the rate of reaction. A catalyst is a chemical that speeds up a reaction but does not get used up. What it does do is lower the activation energy of the reactants. It provides an alternative pathway, at lower energy, for the reactants. The particles can now collide at a lower energy and have successful collisions. This will result in a faster reaction.